my name is Brent. I am a middle-class board gamer, and today I'm bringing you a list of games that you can get for under $30. So these games that were priced between $30 and $20 whenever I looked them up. Again, prices can be very temporary, so if they still aren't this price whenever you watch this video, I apologize for that, but again, that was the price whenever I looked them up while I was making this video. Alright, so we're going to go through these 5 games in no particular order that you can get for under $30. Alright, the first game is Mission Red Planet. Now, this is a game that you can play a lot of people with. You can play up to 6 players, I think. I've played it with 4 and 5. I've never played it at the full 6, but it works really well with both of those. And this is a game where everybody has a hand of cards, and they're all exactly the same. Everybody has the same hand of cards. You're going to pick one and play a card, and each card has a different special power on it. The thing is that those powers go off in numerical order. So you start at the 9 and then work your way down to 2. So it could happen that you could play one of those really low cards that has a really powerful action, but it doesn't happen because somebody played a higher card that makes that action not happen. So it's a really fun kind of guessing game, trying to get into your opponent's head, see what they're going to play. And then the other part of this game is an area control where you're putting people onto Mars, and you're trying to control these different sections of Mars. And if you have control over a certain section, then you're going to score points off that section at the end of these different scoring rounds. And so you're trying to make sure that you have the most people, you have a majority in certain areas so that you're getting those points instead of your opponents. But you can do different things, like you can move your people around on the planet. You can take other players' people away from the planet. You can even turn their people into your people on the planet. And so there's lots of great things to do in this game, lots of great ways and interaction that players can play this game together. It's always kind of a fun and raucous kind of time, kind of chaotic, and that's a fun time sometimes. It's a fun thing to do, is kind of have that chaos in there. So again, check out Mission Red Planet. You can get it right now for under $30. I'm not sure how much longer it will be at that price, but right now I think that's a really great price for it. Under $30, Mission Red Planet. Alright, the next game here is one that's been around for a while, and that's Race for the Galaxy. Now, this is an engine building game where you're putting down cards in front of you that are going to do different things. Sometimes you'll be able to take other cards and put on top of them kind of as an income. And then other times you can take those cards from in front of you and sell them for points. And so it's kind of the thing where you're trying to build up. You're putting cards in front of you, you're taking cards away from in front of you, and you're scoring points that way. It can go pretty quick if you're just playing 2 players. The thing about this game is that maybe sometimes the iconography or the pictures on the cards, the symbology on the cards that kind of tells you what the different cards do can sometimes be a little bit confusing, and there's no text on the card. So this is language independent, but it can be a little bit confusing for new players until they kind of get a hang of what the different symbols on the cards mean. Don't let that deter you, though. Take some time, learn what those symbols mean, and you'll be really having a great time with this game. Again, that's Race for the Galaxy. Alright, the next game is a little bit of a lighter game. It's what some in the hobby call a welcoming game, or maybe a gateway game, and that's Century Spice Road. So this is another game where you have a hand of cards, and you're playing these cards, and there are cubes that you're turning maybe a red one into a yellow one and making those cubes more valuable. And then you'll be using the cubes that you have to purchase cards that have victory points on them. So you're using some cards from your hand to get those cubes or to exchange the cubes to make them more valuable. And then once you get kind of the right combination of cubes that you need for those scoring cards, then you're going to turn those in to get the scoring cards. At some point, you'll need to pick up all the cards back into your hand. So you don't really have a draw deck at all. It's just that you're playing the cards out of your hand, and then eventually you need to pick them all back up, and then you can play them again to take those same actions. And the sequence that you do that, which ones you put down and which ones you hold back, and then which ones you grab from the middle, because you can get more cards to put into your hand as you go throughout the game. all of that kind of works together to try to generate the cubes that you need to buy those scoring cards. And this is a really fun game. Again, it's something that doesn't have a whole lot of rules. It's not very complicated, but it's something that can bring lots and lots and lots of replays as you explore the different ways that you can build that hand up and then get those cubes moving so that you can score those cards. So this is a fantastic game. Again, under $30. I think it's a great price for it right now, and that's Century Spice Road. All right, the next game on the list is one that I think is really underrated, and that is OTYS, OTYS. And this is a game that it seems like kind of came and went. It didn't really get a lot of buzz, but this is a fantastic puzzle. You've got divers on your own player board, and it's a double-layer player board, so they kind of sit down into the board. And each of those divers has a different action that it can do. So it's either going to generate cubes, or it's going to upgrade other divers, or upgrade your technician or your engineer to do different things. And so there's kind of some upgrade action you've got going on there, but ultimately you're trying to collect sets of cubes on the levels down underwater, and then taking those sets of cubes and turning them into fulfill contracts. But the main puzzle is trying to get those divers on the certain levels where you want them to be in order to generate the things that you need in order to fulfill those contracts. And so it's a great puzzle. It's really a mind bender as you sit there and try to think how you can move all these things around and get everything in place. The artwork that's on the front of the box is really beautiful, but then there's not that much inside of the box. I don't know, maybe if that's what turns some people off from it. I don't really mind that because I'm trying to work this puzzle out the whole game. I'm trying to figure out how to get these cubes where they're supposed to be faster than my opponent does so that I can get the contracts. And then the game ends in a fairly quick amount of time. Once somebody scores a certain amount of points, that ends the game. So it's really a race to that point gate to be the first one to hit that number of points to end the game. And so again, that's OTYS, OTYS. You can grab it for under $30. Again, this is a severely underrated game. I'd go ahead and pick it up for that price. All right, the last one is one that probably needs no introduction, and that's Ticket to Ride. You've probably heard of Ticket to Ride. You can find Ticket to Ride almost anywhere now. And you can find Ticket to Ride almost anywhere because it is a really fun and really simple game. It's not very hard to explain to people how to play it. You're either taking a card and putting it into your hand, or you're playing a group of cards to put trains out onto the board. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to fulfill these tickets. So you've got a map of the United States. There's other maps out now. There's a whole bunch of maps. But we just have the original that has the map of the United States, and that's what I'm putting on this list here. And you've got these tickets that are for two different destinations on the United States, and so you're laying those cards down to try to make train connections as you connect one city to another one in the United States, and then those tickets are worth points. And it plays pretty quick. Again, very easy to explain. Most people that you probably play with, if they've played any hobby board games at all, have probably played this one already. And if they haven't, it's going to be pretty easy for them to pick up. I've taught this game to lots of people. I've taught it to my parents. I've taught it to my wife's parents. I've taught it to in-laws. I've played it with my kids. Lots of people can play this game and really enjoy it and have a great time. Again, that's Ticket to Ride. All right, so this has been the list of games for under $30. Again, I hope that you check the links down in the description if you want to go ahead and get your hands on these. Apologies if you check those links and the prices are different and they're more than $30. You might look up. They might even be less than $20 at this point. I'm not sure. The prices just really fluctuate. But I think these are 5 great games, and for under $30, I think they're a really good deal for that. So until next time, I hope you like this video. If you've enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber already, share this around to somebody that might be shopping for someone that will enjoy board games or that is just looking to get into the hobby. Again, until next time, my name is Brent. I'm a middle-class board gamer. We'll see you.